Hey everyone, Diablo 3's 4th birthday just passed, and today I wanted to share some things that I think the game could definitely benefit from. If you are running out of ideas, Blizzard, here's a couple of ways I think that you should definitely support the game in the future. Here we go. Now they are ordered in my opinion, priority by the way too, just for funsies anyway. So let's jump into it. Throw in some base weapon diversity. Whatever happened to the javelins? Maybe even save this for an expansion though, but I definitely think throw some more in there. Base weapons, come on. Show some love to old legendaries. I think we desperately need to wipe off the cobwebs from some of the oldest legendaries in the game. In fact, I'd actually rather see a season update where they don't introduce 10 new legendaries and a set variation and just go back to what's around already. Heaps of good legendaries. The stats suck on so many of them though. Do a quality pass. That'd be awesome. This one's a little bit weird, but anyway, I think it's a cool idea. Let sets roll on any weapon type with some limitations, for example, one-handed and two-handed. Now, I think one of the big appeals about runewords, if we go back a little bit in time, is the fact that you could roll them on any armor. For example, the enigma could be rolled in an archon plate or a super low strength breastplate. Not only that, they had a base bonus as well. Who remembers 15% ed or enhanced defense built into the stat? Give some sets and variations above ancient and basic stats. I think this is kind of cool knowing that you could roll, say, the Ina's Daibo on like a two-handed sword. The base stats would be different. I'm all about the item depth with this one. I think it's a really good idea. Legendary gem runewords. Now, based on my experience in D2, the runewords went a little bit crazy there, giving anyone the ability to teleport, but I'd imagine D3 would have some kind of toned down version. Legendary gem runewords would essentially be, you mix 3 or 4 together in one item, not just your jewelry, and get a bonus stat for having a certain combination of the 3. I think one of the biggest plus sides about this is that legendary gems that you would previously never use, like a ranged one for a melee character, would become useful again. And I think just the idea of making runewords is just awesome in general. Okay, next up, develop a business model. Now, this may seem weird to some people, but hear me out on this. I'm assuming more funding will relate to more content in Diablo 3. As it stands, Diablo 3 is running off the box price. Now, if the box price doesn't generate enough future development funding for new expansions and that kind of stuff, which I highly doubt, by the way, don't forget Diablo 3 is the 4th highest selling PC game of all time. Even excluding the WoW deals that you all know about on launch, plus the auction house that raked in a shitload of money while it was there for a while anyway. It's pretty clear that Diablo 3 hasn't really moved the storyline a lot further that usually comes with things like expansions, and if it's the case of funding, then I'm all for them developing a new type of business model besides the box price, if that's an actual thing that they need to do, which I don't think they do, but maybe. Who knows? Here we go. Now, cap Paragon points. Now, this used to actually exist. Players were previously capped at Paragon 100, but they were character locked. In other words, they weren't account bound. You can make a new character, get him to Paragon 100, doesn't matter. That character has it and that's it. This was awesome. It made hardcore so much more better. But at the same time, it was way too low for softcore. So I really like that they did extend the Paragon thing, but they also need cap. Now, I believe Diablo 2 was fairly successful with its leveling, mainly because the trip from 95 to 100 was ridiculously long for a minor amount of stats. It was really for the ladder, or if you're a hectic min-maxer or just bored and want to grind. Now, this is a good thing, guys. The highest I ever got was 97, and it felt awesome. But here's what you need to take away from this. There's a difference between 3 levels and 600 Paragon levels. Also, knowing 3 months of leveling for 3 more levels, that'd be a personal challenge, not a game-changing mechanic. I think Paragon levels should be capped, or at least curved in a way where it has less impact. Build creativity and diversity. So Diablo's supposed to be all about the loot, yeah? As in the loot you equip for your builds. Pre-planned sets and 2 to 3 flavor items, which more often than not reworks existing skills each season, that's not build diversity. That's just new tools to play around with what already exists in the game. Not only that, it always ends up being 1 to 2 builds. Now, make me feel special, Blizzard. I want to feel special about my character. Spending Paragon points into skill runes. Now, this is one of my favorite ideas. Let me know what you guys actually think about this one. but hear me out. So let me grind my favorite skill runes into something awesome. Let's just say, for example, Whirlwind, it's kind of low DPS, not that great at the moment. Let me grind that bad boy up. Pure Monk Cyclone Sweeping Wind build. Why the fuck not? I'd level something like that up. The whole point of this would allow legendaries which aren't really that great right now, for example, ones from previous seasons that they added in, which aren't good anymore, hence the reason of the other one. It would make a lot of those legendaries really good again. Now, I would be playing D3 indefinitely, knowing with a little extra time, I'd be able to make any skill rune as good as the standard set of that season. And by the way, if I stuff up my character and spend a lot of time committing to one that sucks, good. I want to make another tune and experiment. It's long-term trial and error, character progression depth, not hand-holding. Didn't work, insta-swap, new rune, there we go. Look online before any season hits. Every best build guide strat has been discovered and released before the season even starts. Grinding to Paragon 1000 and spending those points into runes would be amazing. I would love to get skills that just aren't that good anymore and make them good. Just naming a character makes you feel connected, but feeling connected to a build that I've created. Even if it doesn't work and it's shit, at least I had fun on the way. Okay, for the last one, this is pretty obvious, guys. Some new content, as in classes, story, level caps, items, something new. I don't know if this makes me selfish, but I kind of feel like after 4 years, the small incremental reworks, yes, they've had some amazing patches and still supporting the game after 4 years, if you're stacking this on top of already existing content, kind of gets a little bit samey, and I really feel like Team 3 is capable of developing the Diablo 3 story even further and bring in new classes, that kind of stuff. Lastly, I just want to acknowledge all the awesome stuff that has come through. Hopefully this adds some kind of value on top of all the cool shit that's already been released. Catch you next time. See ya.